Hello, everyone, and welcome to 15 Minutes with Perspective Through Planning. My name is Ian Bagnall, investment advisor with IPC Securities. And on the call with me today is John Colangelo, Regional Vice President for Investment Planning Council. John and I collaborate regularly, and we're both excited to get this series kicked off with regards to life's financial journey. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks for that introduction. I'm really looking forward to this call today. It really highlights, your focus on putting your clients first. So let's get started. Yeah.
Well, thanks, John. Talking about life's financial journey, there are so many changes in life events that we go through over time that I think this is a really great way to start off this series. Life changes, things that are important to clients change, but through it all, we continue to plan, we continue to invest. Markets go up and down. We keep in touch with our clients, but it's all relative to them.
Yeah, you're right, Ian. There's certainly a lot happening right now, with the tariff uh, tensions, global uncertainty, um, you know, the shifts in even Canadian politics. And I'm just curious, how are you and your clients navigating through these uncertainty and market volatility?
You know what, John? This is a great place to start. Donald Trump, since becoming U.S. president again, has created a lot of uncertainty and volatility in the world. His talk of tariffs and annexation with Canada and other regions around the world has really kind of messed with the markets. And this talk did kind of start after the election in November. I like to say to people on a regular basis, the only things that we can control is what we can control. And that really takes me back to two core principles of my business. Number one, I always want to be reaching out and calling clients before they think they need to call me. And number two, I never want to sell an investment at a loss in order to raise capital for a client. Uh, so with that, with what is going on out there today, it circles back to those two core principles for me. Just being proactive with client communication, being disciplined with cash management. Since January, we've been prioritizing client contact, phone calls, Zoom meetings, in-person meetings. Through these phone calls and meetings, we affirm investment strategies, we update risk profiles. Markets fluctuate, but planning continues. A key element to this is the cash wedge, which we'll dive into in greater detail later. Um, this, along with investment selection, asset allocation, my confidence in what we're doing, I think helps to ensure my clients and give them confidence and keep them on track.
All that makes sense, Ian, yeah, but how does this play out, sort of in the day to day? I notice, and how do you, reassure clients, with this new cycle, if it's changing, if it's so unpredictable every day. So how do you sort of, mirror the two?
John, it's not always easy, and it does take discipline. However, I believe I cannot expect my clients to remain confident with our planning process and strategies if I'm not portraying that confidence to them, especially
Hmm.
in times of uncertainty and volatile markets. Um, uh, Early in January, we started developing client contact lists, having conversations with folks, phone calls, Zoom calls, in-person visits. In these meetings, it is a great time to reaffirm my investment philosophy as a key to protecting my clients' wealth. I start off the phone calls by making sure people are okay. People react differently to this type of uncertainty, so I want to make sure that people are okay. I believe that clients want to hear from me, and I think they're happy when I'm calling. Trust is built through consistency over time. I look back to the things I'm doing today, 9/11, 2008 financial crisis, COVID, and today. It just starts with being transparent with clients and making sure that we are doing the things that they need us to do at this time, letting them know what's going on. We have a lot of tools available to us. We've got some great financial planning software, Croesus reports that give people a current view of how their portfolios are doing, and we're doing webinars to educate them. We're sending out approved marketing material. All that stuff really helps. A core belief in my investment philosophy is having cash available for ongoing and unforeseen income needs. So when we have these conversations, it's one of the things we address. The cash wedge in their portfolio, and is there anything you need currently? Aside from the cash wedge, we look at asset allocation and the diversification in the portfolio. Times like right now are also a great opportunity to update client risk. Clients' risk today is different than it was a year ago. Markets uncertainty definitely seem to make people think differently about what's going on now and about their future. It's just about reassurance, just letting people know I'm here, and that I promise to keep in touch.
I really like how you and your team spend time, reaching out to clients and communicating. You can't over communicate. But how do you sort of keep on top of it? That is it seems like it's a lot of work.
Well, you know what? It can get a little intense, John, but I truly believe that people really don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So
True.
through this process, we're following up with clients, we're booking appointments. We also post information for clients through a service I use called Constant Contact. Like I said, we're going to be ramping up my webinar series again, doing social media posts, just continuing to make sure people are okay. We learned a lot from COVID about how to effectively keep in touch with people all the time, but particularly during times of uncertainty.
Yeah, absolutely. Teamwork seems to be key here. So, could you care to share us how your group works together, to adapt to industry changes, as well as keeping, clients' trust?
It's collaboration, John, and I'm truly blessed. I work with a great team of client-focused people, professionals, every one of them that are results driven. So, like for instance, Kelsey, my office manager, a great work ethic, a really strong desire to learn and grow. Yourself and Lisa, you guys are always available for collaboration and putting forth great new ideas to reach out to clients and to engage my clients and prospects. And then Tally, my marketing specialist, she is a real professional and really understands the importance of an effective product and a quick turnaround time. And then lastly, I can't forget my branch manager compliance, Hugo. Hugo really helps in terms of keeping myself and clients safe. He's great for collaboration, and gives me a lot of ideas as to what to do in terms of learning and growing. From COVID, we initiated business processes that drive continuity and efficiency. I mentioned Constant Contact earlier, but also DocuSign for client documentation. Like we're doing right now, Zoom video conferencing. It makes it easy to keep in touch with our clients. The firm and our industry has been great in this as well, bringing out initiatives for the advisor to effectively keep in touch with clients. Also, the firm does a due diligence conference every January. That's a great opportunity to meet in the new year with industry professionals and advisors, and just find out what's going on and what the outlooks are for the coming year. And then the firm also puts on a fall conference in September that is very helpful as well. A lot of great idea sharing and again, networking.
It seems there's just a lot happening and behind the scenes, and I was wondering, I guess a lot of clients really don't realize how much work goes into supporting their investments. Ian.
You know what, John? And you're probably right. And in that regard, that's okay. Because what I want people to know more than anything else is that we have their backs, and that our job, one, is protecting their wealth. We have amazing tools, like you said, for doing client reviews, platforms for reports to monitor risk. know your client platforms, know your product platforms, financial planning software like Conquest, which is amazing. This is all a benefit to the advisor. And quite frankly, a lot of this came as of COVID.
Hmm. Hmm. Let's circle back to your rule earlier you mentioned about selling investments at a loss. How does that philosophy shape how you build and manage client portfolios today?
Yes, John, this is a core part of my business philosophy and really speaks to my investment philosophy. I never want to have to sell an investment at a loss in order to raise capital or get needed cash to a client.
You mentioned the cash wedge. It's a good opportunity as a cornerstone of your strategy. So what is this approach and why should this be important to your clients?
Well, I think it's a cornerstone. And there's a lot of cornerstones in an investment philosophy. We risk profiles, current and ongoing. Know your client information, current and ongoing. Know your product information, current and ongoing. These are all a part of that conversation. Just establishing our clients' goals for wealth accumulation. But as a part of my investment strategy, I really do stress that cash wedge and implementing this into client portfolios. As I said earlier, I never want to have to sell an investment at a loss to raise capital for a client. How do we do that? Well, we do it through planning. I like to see if a client has an ongoing income need, I like to see a 1 to 3 year short term income cash asset or cash available in the portfolio for those client needs. It's an ongoing process. We have to take profits. We have to rebalance because you never want to be caught short, and you always want to make sure that you're going to be there for the client in terms of what they need.
Right. Right. It's clear to me that your philosophy and practices are deeply interconnected. How does this all come together to benefit your client?
Well, you know what? It's lifelong learning and a commitment. It really goes with building and maintaining relationships for life. I have a lot of beliefs, and two of them are that you have to really like people to do this job, and you
Right.
have to really like our industry. Those things are both important. The process is so important. It has to feel natural, not only to you, but to the client. And I think this only comes with experience.
Yeah, let's dig deeper into that client relationship. So, what's unique about your approach, you're really to build that long-term trust with your clients?
Sure, and like at the center of it, like we've been talking about, is the client, and it involves initial and ongoing client information. Like I said, risk profiles that are a part of the process. But we really want to get at in know your client information. We really want to get at what that individual is all about, what makes them happy, family, friends, hobbies. What do they want from their lives? These things are also important. And from that, along with all that other information, we're able to make suitable investments for the client after that know your product analysis as well.
Right. You mentioned webinars early in the conversation. Um, how have these evolved, and where do you see them fitting into the strategy going forward?
So webinars are great. It's one of the things that I enjoy. Uh, we started off doing webinars in the pandemic, and what we did was we were doing economic and investment updates for people, and we continued those for a very long time, and we had a really loyal following there. This what we're doing today with 15 minutes with perspective through planning is kind of the evolution of what we're doing. But our webinars, aside from the investment and economic focus, have taken on a lot of different subject matter. A
Hmm.
lot of it fun, some of it informative. Like we had, a hockey trivia expert on a couple of times. We did, human interest webinars
Hmm.
around Alzheimer's and dementia. So many different topics that we've done and that people have enjoyed and found informative. But by far the most fun, or pardon me, the webinars that we did that really generated a lot of interest and a lot of fun for people were our pizza parties. they were a big hit.
Right. Can you expand on that a little bit more? And because that sounds very interesting to me. And how these events have sort of helped clients feel more connected and informed at the same time.
So the pizza parties are great, and so what we would do there is I would reach out to groups of clients and prospects and see if they were interested in something like this. And once we did that, we'd set a date on the day of the webinar. I would order pizza, soft drinks, and desserts, and have it sent to every home that was going to be attending the webinar. And we'd have it arrive, like 30 to 45 minutes before the call started. And then, at the allotted time, we jump on Zoom. I would typically have another investment professional with me, and we'd have a very informal back and forth conversation with clients, encouraging their input through the meeting. They were a lot of fun, and it was a great relaxed atmosphere. So people felt comfortable where they could ask questions and ask things that they wanted to know that maybe they weren't able to find out before. One of the best parts about these pizza parties is that they were intergenerational. So we had grandparents, parents, children on these webinars. So we were laying the foundation for our country's future investors, which I think was great.
And that's really a smart approach. I mean, to be able to integrate the multi-generational aspect of it, I think it sounds like your clients both get expertise and personal touch in those events. So I hope you do more of those in the future.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to doing more of those. And like things have changed a little bit. Like with the end of that COVID period, people are less inclined to want to jump on a Zoom screen. But we still have groups that don't live close, so we're connecting them geographically through our pizza parties. But stay tuned. We're in the process of developing our schedule of webinars right now. I want to just say to anybody that hears our call, send me a topic that you'd like to hear more about. We're anxious to hear from our clients and prospects about what they'd like to see from us.
So as we wrap up here, Ian, what's your top piece of advice for listeners that are listening to the call today that want to stay financially resilient in especially in today's climate?
Well, you know what? I think it's important to work with an advisor, establish what your plan is, and stick to your plan. I think it's very important. For me, regular contact with my clients has always been a cornerstone of my process. Remember, John, life's uncertainties are a lot easier to navigate when you have some perspective and you're planning. So that's the advice that I would give to people.
Well, thanks for having me, Ian. This has been a great discussion on how, planning first mindset makes such a difference to your clients. Your clients are really lucky to have you as their trusted advisor.
Well, thank you, John, and thank you for coming on the call today, and thank you to my assistant Kelsey for helping us out in the background, and to Lisa, your associate, for helping us get all this stuff off the ground. And I want to thank anybody who's listening, and please stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot more of it. I appreciate it, everyone, and be well. Have a great day.